very much for that. And by the way, the Nifty has crossed its earlier record high of 25,078, and it's not stopping there. It's picking up now and approaching 25,100. 25,090 on the Nifty. It's a 72-point up move in the face of muted global cues. So the markets have scaled all-time high levels today. The mid-cap index is moving in step. And the last 10 minutes, that up move that we've seen, the spike, you've got names like a Bajaj Auto with a 1.5% up move contributing on the way up. IT has been strong, and now HCL Tech too has joined the up move, again gaining 1.5% on HCL Tech. Infosys, Coal India it's now back in the green. It was in the red in the morning, but Coal India is now in the green. Tata Motors too has been a big mover. Banks is still in the red, not by a whole lot, but just down about 76 points. But let's see whether banks can change their color from red to green.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, what a phenomenal move for the market, right? Today, it's looking like it's just a 0.3% move. But just pull up the last, 6-month chart. Every bad news, global bad news, local hiccups, election, verdict, budget, anything that the market has digested, even the capital gains tax, right? Everything was digested by the market well. I think it is also the retail flows that has come into the market in a big way, especially domestic institutional investors, and the kind of money that has come in from the retail end, right? This whole equity cult has been growing by leaps and bounds. We've seen in the month of August, 10 crore, demat accounts is what we've seen overall, right? So that just goes to show that whatever is the global news, the local news is so strong, and the conviction in our markets is so strong that we've been able to climb every wall of worry. Now, having said that, see, there is a correction that is expected to come. I mean, it hasn't come for 1.5 years. So I guess at some point a correction will set in. But as Nilesh Shah was also telling us yesterday, right, even when the correction sets in, it may not be as steep. It may not be a very big fall because the conviction in this market is so strong that as soon as a correction sets in, perhaps money will start flowing back in. So that's been the kind of conviction that this market has had. So phenomenal move, really. It's crossed that earlier level of 25,078, hit a new milestone, and a large chunk of it has been, we've got leadership both from banks as well as from IT. So there's been a lot of support coming in, even from some of the newer, some of the new tech companies, etc. So I think it's an across the board, it's a secular up move that we've been seeing. Gautam Shah is joining us, by the way. He's someone who has been advocating for new highs in the market for a while now. Gautam, welcome to the show. Big day for the market yet again, right? New milestones is what we've seen. Gautam, is my voice reaching you?
Yes, it is, Sonia.
Okay, great to hear you. And at a time like this, the market has hit record highs. There are still so many naysayers in this market, right, Gautam? Many people believe that there is a big correction coming, which it should at some point in time. How do you deal with that, and how do you navigate the terrain from here?
Well, Sonia, naysayers are a catalyst to any bull market. And I think over the last couple of months, we've had more concerns than talks of greed. And I think that's a great place to be in. And this market has seen an incredible climb of wall of worry, because we've had so many developments globally and locally. And despite the fact that the Nifty is at 25,000, I think it's just phenomenal. I think this is going to continue. One should not time the top. No one knows where the top is. It's just that the domestic liquidity just is helping this market go up on a consistent basis. 5% correction is the new 15%, because, people who look at the previous bull market and say that we haven't seen a 10-15% correction, please note for the last couple of years, we've had multiple 5% corrections, and that has really cooled off the market. So even at current levels, I don't see overbought signs. I think banks are yet to make a comeback. Newer sectors are starting to do well. Look at the comeback of IT and pharma in the recent past. Metals are likely to break out. Chemicals have started to do well. And I think some of the previous winners of the past have taken a backseat. Real estate, auto, PSU, capital goods have gone nowhere for the last 4 to 5 months. But broadly, I think the trajectory is still up. And I think the way we handled the global developments in the first half of August was quite commendable. So I think you're going to see better days. And in terms of levels, 25,500 is pretty much the next important number to work with. And I think the next big opportunity could be financial services led by NBFC.
So, Gautam, you don't see any toppish signs, any signs of frothiness at the index macro level in our markets, which suggests a correction is coming?
No, I don't see that, Seema. In fact, at the starting of the month, we were a little concerned that the market was a little top-heavy on the breadth front. and then the global correction happened. Mind you, the Nasdaq index, the Dow, they all corrected 10%. The Japanese market corrected about 17%, and our market fell about 4%. 25,000 to 24,000. So with that sweet correction, the market basically digested all the negativity that was there. And it's now, healthy once again. And top quality mid caps and small caps, look at the way the broader markets have behaved in the last few weeks. It just tells you that there is so much money on the sidelines that quality stocks are being lapped up on every correction.
Okay. You were briefly mentioning, auto stocks, right? Bajaj Auto is definitely the one in focus today, as is some of the other auto names, whether it's TVS Motor. This whole renewable energy, green energy space, electric vehicles is picking up in a big way. But on the charts, do you think there's more of an upside in some of these names?
No, I think for the time being, we've let go of auto. I think the risk reward is just not there to make serious commitments at these prices. Maybe they are on hold for an investor who's looking at things for the next 3 years. But if you're looking at an opportunity for the next 3 to 6 months, I don't think auto is an opportunity. I do believe that if the rate cut cycle were to start, which I guess the Fed has already indicated, and it will follow suit in India as well, I think financial services led by NBFCs could be big beneficiaries. So I see some amazing opportunities coming up in NBFCs led by Bajaj Finance, Bajaj Finserv. And I think metals could also do something special over the next 3 to 6 months.
Mihir Vora is also with us on the show. Mihir, thank you very much for joining us on this momentous milestone that the markets continue to hit, so many times this entire year. We left off the last conversation saying it's time to be, choosy in the markets, not cautious. How do you expect, we've literally not had a correction. You've been in the market for decades and you know that this is not sustainable. At some point, a correction does set in, but it's just not come. We've not seen one for the last maybe close to about 2 years now. So what would your advice be now to share, to retail participants?
Hi, first of all, congratulations to all of us. Nobody will look at this horse in the mouth. So I think it's a good time and a good reflection on the strength of the economy that the markets are touching new highs. But yes, as you rightly mentioned, there has been probably no sharp correction at the market level, but the markets have corrected at the sectoral level, if you notice, So you had large underperformances by the IT sector at one point in time. You had continuing large underperformance by the banking sector as we speak. For almost 1.5 years, the banking sector has underperformed. But the weight of the weight of the market has been pulled has been lifted by the other sectors. So there has been, I would say, a healthy time correction and a price correction, sector by sector, stock by stock, and the market seems to be rewarding growth and punishing lack of growth. And I think that should continue. So it's not like every sector is in a bubble territory or every stock is expensive. There is enough scope and enough rationality in the market to pick and choose and build a portfolio.
Okay. Quickly, Mihir, before we let you go, congratulations to you as well. I mean, you've been advocating for all-time highs for a while now, and you've been recommending, sectors as well. But at any point, would you start to get cautious? Would you start to raise your cash levels? Is that a good way to approach the market now?
So I would always be cautious, but more on the quality side. It's very tempting to go down the quality curve in a raging bull market, especially when the run is so broad-based in mid-caps, small caps, etc. So there is always this temptation to go down the quality curve. So that is one point that I would be cautious about. Liquidity, illiquid stocks, frothy stocks, that is one. And in general, I think there is still scope for stock picking. And cash calls is not something that we are actively looking at this point in time.
So Mihir, where do you think, which are the sectors where you think a correction might set in? Because that's been the nature of the market, as you pointed out. At the index level, we haven't seen a correction, but individual pockets of the market have gone through their own time correction, own price correction. So where do you think that next correction sectorally could come in, where things are looking still a bit overheated?
Some of the thematics that we've been quite bullish on, for example, the railway theme, the defense theme, they have always started correcting. We are seeing time correction and price correction happening because while the long-term fundamentals, nothing has changed. Absolutely robust view for the next 5 to 10 years in these segments. But markets do tend to go a little ahead of themselves, and that's what we are seeing in certain segments. So I think ultimately, if we look at the long-term growth versus valuations prospects, market is tending to overshoot and then correct, and that we have seen sector after sector. So these fancy stocks probably are already seeing some kind of time correction. In the recent past, we've seen a lot of action in the renewable space. Again, very exciting sector, very bright long-term prospects. But stocks probably are all getting a bit ahead of themselves. So I think that time and price correction will happen from time to time in these kind of pockets. The illiquid and the low free float counters are really the ones to be, to be wary about.
Hey, Mihir, thanks a lot for joining in. Appreciate your time here. Gautam, thanks to you as well. Big day for the market. The Nifty has hit a fresh record high. Of course, it's up, I think, 80 points right now, the last time I checked. So not just hitting a record high, but building on to its gains. Look at that, almost 90 points higher now, moving to the highest point of trade. This is the first time ever the Nifty has hit 25,100 on an intraday basis. Let's see if it holds on to these gains. Remember, it is a matter of time before which some sort of a correction or pullback sets in. But for now, the market is just enjoying this momentum-driven rally. Let's step into a short break. On the other